We are here because we are Kenyans who believe in Kenya. We are Kenyans who believe in a united country. We are Kenyans who care. We are Kenyans who love our neighbors. And we are here so that we can have our own conversation as people of faith. Because we do have faith in God. We also have faith that if we talk, if we converse, if we dialogue over the issues that we face as faith communities, as a country, as Kenya, we can be able to see light, even when sometimes we see darkness in some of these issues. We are in a time when we are talking, and it's a very important time that we are having a conversation between ourselves, among ourselves, and right from the highest office in the land, there is one clarion call: let us talk, let us have dialogue, let us discuss the future of our nation. As religious leaders, this has been our call since this country became a nation, a country, since independence, and even beyond that. We have come together all the times when the country is in trouble so that we can help and be a voice of reason and a voice of hope. After the 2007 post-election violence, this same venue became a place where we came to mourn for the loss of people and property. It also became a venue for dialogue, helping us to ask ourselves how we can help deal with some of the issues that are deep-seated in the hearts of our people, some of the historical injustices, and provide solutions to the elections that had just been held and in the aftermath left the post-election violence. The faith communities have not failed to speak, because in the 90s, this same venue became synonymous with the search for democracy, the search for the new constitution, and the search for a more inclusive government. And we are happy to celebrate the success of the faith communities. This same venue and many other venues in our faith communities, as we faced the 2017 general election, there was uncertainty as to whether we have faith in the IEBC. And the faith communities came out with a voice that we need to have an IEBC that inspires confidence. And in consultation with the political players and government, the IEBC was dissolved so that a new IEBC emerges that had the confidence of the people. And the first general elections were held in that manner. And it is the role of the religious leaders in bringing some of these truths and speaking them to those in power to do these things that has helped the nation stick together. In the second election, after the first one was nullified, the faith communities were there to provide inspiration, to provide hope, and to provide direction. And this DLG was very important in that journey. And as the chairman has noted, even for the handshake that happened in March 9, 2018 to take place, it was because of the prayers and sacrifice of the religious community in this country in bringing the two formations that were tearing the country apart to come together and to say that they can live with one another as brothers and to shake hands. And that is how the current debate about the Building Bridges initiative to unity comes in place. Our nation is not at ease with itself. And we do have a history that has been characterized by that. We have the peace and the general dialogue framework that has been created by the handshake. But the handshake was to help us to have time to reflect, to have time to talk to one another and create a future that we can all be proud of. So with 2.5 years to the general elections, the next general elections, the country is going through anxious moments, and the political actors are trying to realign themselves and create the formations that they shall do their political campaign in. At the same time, our media is awash with stories of these formations and how they are going to lose or gain because of BBI report, and every action is interpreted on who gains and who loses in these formations. Political actors are seeking also to realign themselves along this formation and their political leaders. It's also worth noting that at the same time, there has been some forgetfulness, some amnesia of sorts of the other issues that affect Kenyans. Issues of unemployment of our youth, issues of floods. Over 132 people have died. People have lost livestock and crops. People have lost properties. But in every meeting, all you hear is about 2022. It is important for us as religious leaders to reflect on how this can be changed, because people are living today and they live until 2022, which is far off. They need to live comfortably, and that is why they were elected in the first place. The Building Bridges Initiative report is with us, and I hope all of you have a copy. And I hope all of you, because I know we are able to read for ourselves, that we shall read for ourselves. Yes? I hope that we have read. Yes? Do you have copies? You don't have copies? Yes. Somehow you will have copies. And we do have copies because we do have the bbi.go.ke. I know you have smartphones. Please download that report and have it in your phone. And if possible, if you can have it printed for yourself, please read it. We live in a country where we are told, so and so read for us. And so, we don't have to read for ourselves. It is part of our empowerment as religious leaders that we should read the report ourselves. And we do have that invitation from our leaders, and this forum also advocates that we read that report for ourselves. The task force that was created has rendered its report, and now it's upon us to read it and to understand it, and to look at how we move that agenda of dialogue forward. The dialogue reference group is here to actually look at what is in that report and how we can work around it. The launch of the report was a few weeks ago, and now we have people talking on either sides of the political formations, those for and those against. But I hope as religious leaders here, we shall not be quick to join one side or the other, if at all, but that we shall read the report itself and compare it with the findings that we got ourselves when we went to speak to the people, and be able to make our own informed choices. We as religious leaders should not allow ourselves to be led by the political class, but rather we should be the ones to inspire hope and bring truth to the people of Kenya, so that together we can be able to forge a united nation of Kenya. There are issues of narratives that we have in this nation. As a country, after colonial period, we were to come together as one country. And that journey of national building has not been easy. We have had moments when we felt we are united. There are moments as a country that we celebrate. When we win something internationally, and Kenyans are fond of winning many things. When Kipchoge won and ran the first human to run for 1 hour and 59 minutes. And we all watched in amazement. And we all felt proud of being Kenyans. But those moments are few and isolated. Our job here is to create those moments to be many more and much more permanent so that we can truly be proud of being Kenyans. We do have our ethnic communities, and they are God-given. All our religious books have identity issues. God created all these ethnic communities, and we will not wish them away. And our differences and uniqueness is all part of the diversity that God has given us. We should celebrate it rather than use it for political mileage. And we shouldn't allow our political class to use them to divide our people. So our dialogue must reflect on those identities. As faith communities, we have come together. There is no reason why our ethnic communities cannot come together in unity. But we do have many initiatives of nation building that has been started by government and that have been started by individuals in this country. And those initiatives, some of them have succeeded to a great extent, and some have failed. Now we do have another initiative that seeks to bring our people together. And as religious leaders, we do have a very major role in helping us be able to do that. Our religions have one thing in common. They encourage dialogue. They encourage people coming together even when they have differences. They encourage forgiveness. And not just our faiths, but also our African traditions. Our African traditions have very, very deep understanding, and they support dialogue. They support negotiation. They support people of different opinions coming together in council to actually forge a way forward. So this dialogue is not something foreign to us. It is part and part of our DNA as a country. As I conclude, what role will us as religious leaders play as we move forward? As we move forward as the dialogue reference group, and as we move the agenda of the Building Bridges Initiative and Healing Our Nation. Chairman, I think, and in my reflection, there are three main roles that we need to play as religious leaders. One is our prayers and reflection. Prayers and reflection are part of what we are as faith communities. We pray and we reflect as we seek the truth in terms of the issues that face us as a nation. So we need to think and reflect within our religious spaces, our religious congregations, and prayerfully read the BBI report, read the outcomes that we shall see here that came from the dialogue reference group, and ask ourselves, what are the key things and the key actions that we need to advise government to take, that we need to advise ourselves to take, and what kind of message that we take out to the people. we cannot run away from prayers, for we do not represent ourselves. We are God's ambassadors in this country. The second one is facilitators. We need to see ourselves as facilitators, as the people who are going to facilitate the dialogue, the debate, the conversations. We need to create safe spaces in our faith communities and in our communities and in our town halls where we can truly talk the truth about our country. Why do we always fight after every election? Why do we always see others who are different from us by way of ethnicity or otherwise as not being part and parcel of ourselves? How do we bring Ubuntu, that I am because you are? We need to ask ourselves deep questions. And these questions, as we all know in our African tradition and in our faith communities and our books of religion, is that we need safety. We need safe spaces where we don't have to look over our shoulders as we speak our hearts out. The third is to be the voice of reason. To be the voice of reason. We do have a divided country, and we are divided over everything, over many things. But there must be us as faith communities that remain with the people, remain on the side of truth, that remain on the side of reason. We must be the ones who are going to bring reason to both sides of the divide, to both and different formations that are going to emerge and those that we already have. The book of Isaiah encourages us, and God is the one actually who was calling on the people and saying, let us come, let us reason together. We have heard from our national leaders saying the same thing, come, let us listen together. Our faith communities here have the same call to all Kenyans, let us reason together. Once we reason together, there is no way that we can go wrong. So it is my prayer and my hope that as faith communities and for these religious leaders that are here and those that we represent, that we will play these three roles of being the ones that are going to bring prayers and reflection of the truth about our nation and about the problems that face us and seek solutions. And secondly, to be the facilitators of safe spaces where we can dialogue and debate and discuss our issues and develop solutions. And finally, to be the voice of reason, that even when all the debates are said and done, that we shall be that voice of reason, that voice of truth, and that voice that brings light even when there is darkness. God bless you.